Top 10 Adolescence Research Topics. Mental disorders in infancy, childhood, and adolescence. More than 2.5 million children in the USA suffer from mental disorders, and more than 13% are in the risk group. Disorders in children and adults are not clearly differentiated, as those appearing at a mature age usually have their roots in childhood experiences. Still, there is a specific category of disorders discovered in infancy, childhood, and adolescence. In your paper, you can focus on it and analyze these disorders in detail. Conduct disorder in adolescence. Conduct disorder refers to a collection of repetitive and persistent antisocial behaviors. Some of its symptoms include aggression, theft, grievous violation of societal rules, destruction of property, drug use, poor performance in school, etc. In your paper, you could either focus on the common symptoms of conduct disorder in adolescence or address its causes. Adolescence from a developmental perspective. Adolescence is a significant phase of human development. During this period, there are tremendous changes in a person's physical, cognitive, and emotional traits. In your paper, you can focus on these changes. Another idea is to focus on the tasks, challenges, and opportunities that shape one's transition from childhood to adulthood. Self-esteem in the adolescence period. Self-esteem means the general perception of an individual by themselves. It is the way an individual views themselves in the eyes of society. A teenager's self-esteem is very vulnerable. Low self-esteem can lead to decreased productivity, anxiety, and depression. What factors influence self-esteem? In your paper, you could look at such factors as social interactions, body image, academic performance, and peer relationships. Depression in adolescence. Today, teenagers encounter several challenging issues. Depression is one of them. This disorder affects young people's mental state significantly and may interfere with their daily activities, reducing the quality of their lives and decreasing their academic performance. In your paper, you can discuss depression in adolescence, its symptoms, and its causes. Another idea is to present possible assessment strategies. Impact of social media on adolescents. Social media greatly impacts adolescents. The latter, in turn, make up the majority of active social media users. The key negative impacts are excessive waste of time, rumor spreading, peer pressure, and FOMO. How do social media influence teenagers' self-image, social relationships, and mental health? What are the potential benefits and drawbacks of social media use? We invite you to explore this issue. Adolescent brain development. The human brain reaches maturity by the age of 30. This means that adolescence and early adulthood are periods of active brain development. One of the last parts of the brain to reach maturity is the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for planning and risk assessment. What processes take place in a teenager's brain, and what behavioral features do they entail? These questions are worth exploring. Identity crisis in adolescence. An identity crisis is a personality conflict that can happen to anyone at any age. However, for a teenager, this crisis is almost inevitable. How is identity formed during adolescence? Which factors influence identity development? How do cultural, familial, and societal factors influence adolescent identity shaping? We suggest that you focus on one of these topics. Peer pressure in adolescence. Peer pressure is when peers encourage a person to act in a certain way. This is not because they want to, but because they feel they must do the same as the other social group members. How do peer relationships influence friendship formation and social hierarchies? How do social media impact adolescent behaviors, decision-making, and self-perception? These are exciting research questions. Mental health challenges in adolescence. According to statistics, every seventh teenager has a mental disorder. The most common challenges are anxiety, depression, ADHD, and eating disorders. What are the risk factors for these conditions? What is the importance of early detection, prevention, and intervention strategies to support adolescent mental well-being? Discuss these issues in your paper. Find more research topics on studycorgi.com.